Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Everyday Carry for Everyday Guy. I know it's a bit of a strange intro, right? This is the intro I wanted to roll in.
Watch him. Watch him. Contact! Watch his hands. Watch his hands. Watch his hands. No ready. Watch his hands. Watch his hands. Gun! Watch his hands. Contact! Go. Contact!
But I thought that every video I've seen, or the moment someone mentions intermediate or advanced pistol, the only parameter is how fast can you go. Like you got to go at 147,000 kilometers per hour, right? And 2 weeks ago, I did an intermediate to advanced pistol course run by Dean Newvold of Fundikhono Training Consultants. And his training methodology is a bit different, and it's actually quite refreshing. The day before the course, we did a legal lecture by Mr. Jacques Boerto, who is one of South Africa's premier attorneys in the defense of people who have used force to defend their lives. I'm going to take you through those two courses today. I'm not going to give the course away, because that would be to discredit the people who've actually paid money to be there, as well as the people who make a living out of those courses. But you're going to see a lot of footage of the course, and I'm going to tell you what it's like to train with Dean. Now, Dean is, amongst other things, he is currently serving with this African Police Service. I think it's like 30 or 40 years he's been with them now. He's held in a really high regard. He was instrumental in the South African Police Service getting a lot of things. I'm not going to go into the details. He spent time overseas in the US with HNK, with Glock. So he's well trained and well traveled and has a lot of knowledge, but also he's got either a degree or a doctorate in education. So he's trained in how to teach, and that really comes through in his instruction. I just want to talk to you very, very briefly before we get into the shooting stuff about the legal course we took. So, as I said, it was presented by Jacques Boerto, extremely knowledgeable. He brought the real world cases that were no longer sort of privileged information due to the time scale. And he brought us real world cases and that real world knowledge as a result of those cases. And the two things I really want to tell you guys, my viewers, especially my South African viewers, from a legal perspective, if you do use anything that you EDC to save your life, one, you have to be really, really careful. Take the time, and I know it's crazy to say in that moment where things are happening 1,000 miles an hour, that's what I'm saying, take the time now to plan and to think and to even strategize how are you going to handle situations. I know it's a bit superfluous, because probably in the heat of the moment your mind's going to be going at 1,000,000 miles an hour, but I do just want to say, if you act unlawfully, and I don't mean this to be a scare tactic, based on the knowledge handed down to us in that course, the better part of your life is probably going to be over, right? I know it sounds harsh, I know it sounds scary, but it is scary. It really is scary. Make sure you know exactly what you're doing. You are well trained. If you're using a firearm, you better make very, very certain you can put a round where you want it. If you miss and you hit someone or the property of someone else, there's a good likelihood your life is going to be altered dramatically if you use your firearm. I highly recommend that course was so eye-opening and so scary that there's times we wanted to ask Jacques, like, why would he do this kind of job, you know? But I didn't have the opportunity, and I didn't want to interrupt the lecture. But guys, from me to you, you need to be really careful. You really need to get on these courses. And the second thing I want to say is, guys, collect evidence. If you are in a situation where you think there's more than likely going to be legal proceedings, collect as much evidence as you can. This is what you should do, and this is probably the only bit of this that I'm actually going to give away. You should collect as much evidence as you can via video or photograph, and immediately send that off to someone you trust, your mom, your dad, your brother, sister, best friend, whatever the case may be. Because chances are your devices are going to be confiscated for evidence and things like that. And sometimes evidence can go missing. I'm not saying it does or doesn't, Those of you who are on the course with me will know what's what. But this is just me to you because I care about you guys. You really need, and when I say collect evidence, guys, I'm not talking about 2 or 3 photographs. I'm talking 200 or 300. You take as many as you possibly can from as many angles. You take video. You literally go insane. You become the Steven Spielberg of collecting photographic or video evidence, because that stuff is very, very important. And then also get yourself a lawyer now already that is at least older than 40. I'm not going to go into why. And who specializes in criminal law. The margin between having a normal life after the third fight and having to change your life entirely, I mean, talking about taking out mortgages on your home to cover legal fees, it's tiny. Sometimes it isn't even visible. If ever I could tell you one thing, you need to get trained. Now that does move me on to the training course. So the training course was an intermediate course in the morning and an advanced course in the afternoon. Now, in the morning session, he dealt with very basic manipulations. Dean also uses auditory cues. It's not the case of shooter ready, stand by, beep, because that never happens in the real world, right? He tries to build you up, tries to get you into an aggressive mood and mindset.
Watch his hands! Watch his hands! Stop! Stay with you! Stop! Not ready! Not ready! Stop moving! Not ready! Stop! Get your fucking hands up!
Right? And then run your firearm. So he uses auditory cues. Also, after you fired that particular course of fire, like let's say it's take out your firearm, low ready, and then fire 2 shots, whatever the case may be, you have to basically say when you've done it by announcing the target is down or target down. Now, why is that important? Simple, small unit tactics. If you and someone else have to go through a house, for whatever the case may be, getting into the habit of telling your partner that there's a target down in the room that is about to enter, at least lets him know. Simple things like that Dean imparts on his courses that you take with you and make a lot of sense. Now, one of the important things about going slow, when I was doing Grace's Jitsu with James Smart, and he was actually on this course, he was always saying, if you do something really slowly, you can go home and train it, right? And I always take that opportunity on Dean's courses. I've been on quite a few of Dean's courses. Always take the opportunity in his courses to go slow. Because on so many other courses you have to go fast. Everything is timed, right? And believe me, I understand a gunfight is a race, and the one who wins is more than often the one who lives, and the one who loses more than often the one that dies. So it is nice and refreshing for me to go, and this is what I enjoy about Dean's courses, where it's okay to go at a reasonable pace, at a slower pace, and you can feel your body, you can understand what it's doing, you can understand your grip, your presentation, and that sort of thing. The reason I rolled that bit in the beginning is to show you I can go fast. If I needed to go faster, I could go faster. But I took the opportunity to go really slowly on this course because the opportunity was there. Now in the afternoon, we got to the more advanced stuff. Single-handed manipulations, one-handed shooting, non-dominant hand, or actually let me rephrase, non-weapon hand shooting. My left hand, guys, is completely hopeless. It is one of my deficiencies in my training, and this really brought it out because I probably missed about 7 or 8 shots with my left hand, and I didn't miss a single one with my right hand. So my one-handed shooting is okay, but my left-handed shooting is just gone. So another thing of training with Dean is he brings real-world situations, the training course, situations he'd actually experienced in the line of duty. So when we ran single-handed manipulations, he would sort of prep us by telling us the story of what really happened and why we are doing this.
Blood flow. What happens in the blood flow? What happens in the body? What happens to all the bigger muscle groups? Yes. Okay. My body now releases a concoction.
That just puts you in a mental state to really want to apply yourself to the drill, right? And really want to focus, for me personally, really wanted to focus on, don't just fly through this drill. Understand what's happening. Understand your left hand was just hit. It's blown apart almost. And now you've got to do things with your right hand and what's going to be happening in your mind. And you will be amazed. What I was amazed by was just how slow I was going while I was thinking I was going faster. When I played back the video, I was like, wow, was I really going that slow? Because all the while I was mentally trying to go through what I'm doing. And I imagine you have to do it in real life. Towards the end, there was drills where we were going faster because we were at closer range, but then he was saying, listen, now we have to go a bit faster, okay? And he used visual cues as well as auditory cues. So for example, he would write numbers on the targets, and so like let's say 1 to 10, right? Obviously in the numbers 1 to 10, there's 5 odd numbers and 5 even numbers. And he would say odd, and you would shoot the nearest odd number target. And then he would hold up fingers, right? So if it's, so for example, you every time you shoot is 2 shots, he would hold up that and say that. So 2 and 5. Now the target number 2 might not be near you. Target number 7 and target number 8 might be near you, right? So then you've got to shoot target number 8 twice and target number 7 twice, because those are the nearest odd and even numbers, even and odd numbers nearest to you. So it's really engaging your mind. The only sad thing for me, and I find this to be sad on many courses, is there were no women. And I just want to say guys, when I say guys, I mean men. I was speaking to Michelle after the course, like, I don't know how to say this, right, but in a moment where someone's breaking into your house, if you and your wife don't have a plan, that woman's going to be a liability. You know, you two need to really talk that out, because the way this course was presented, it was so engrossing. You could begin to see how things would happen in your own home. As I can't recommend enough that you get this kind of training, especially from someone like Dean, and supplemented with guys like Bravo Tactical and Global Phalanx, where it is 100 miles an hour, because you do need to know that. But you also need to know the legal, and you also need to train. The reason I say you should train with Dean is because Dean trains from almost like a legal mindset. Like, yeah, you can go super fast here, but if you miss, it's a problem. If you miss, your life is probably over. Not dead, but you are in a world of trouble. And there's no acceptability for misses.
Okay, I want accuracy, guys. It's no good to be the fastest gun in the graveyard.
Leave Fundikhono linked down below. Please contact them. They work closely with SA Tactical Institute. A huge thank you to Dean from Fundikhono. A huge thank you from Jacques Botha. And a huge thank you to all those guys who came out of this course, because without those guys, the course isn't possible. Without Dean, the course isn't possible. A huge thank you to Belleville Pistol Club for making their range available to us. We really, really appreciate that. And it's a very, very nice range. I highly recommend you check it out. Guys, that is it. Have a good week. Be safe, train hard. Cheers. God bless.